Good morning, everyone. You should be here for Year in a Snap Revealed. This is Stacy Croninger, and I'm going to start us off this morning and then turn the time over to Rhonda and Suzanne, who are going to walk us through this program. We are recording this, and we'll post the recording this later today so that you have access to that. And then as Rhonda goes through things, she's going to explain about some of the resources that we will make available to you as well. So let's get things started, and I'm going to turn the time over to Rhonda, and she's going to walk us through this. If you have questions, feel free to type them in, and I will be answering questions. If it's something that we feel like everyone needs to hear, then I'll repeat it so that Rhonda can answer that live and not just behind the scenes. So Rhonda, take it away.
All right. Thank you, Stacy. And thanks, everybody, for joining us today. This really has been a labor of love with so many people adding their expertise and flavor to Year in a Snap. We're so grateful. So please take this thank you to each of you for your part in creating this idea that we really believe will be a game changer for 2017. So as Stacy said, we've got other resources which I'll explain along the way. So without further ado, let's just get going. You're seeing here our adorable Year in a Snap logo, and you'll see that in several other places as we go along. So let's move on. Okay, so what is Year in a Snap, and why are we doing this? And so let's just look at this quick summary. The heart and soul of what Year in a Snap represents is an opportunity for people to connect monthly for a common mission and passion, chronicling 1 year at a time of their family life in pictures and stories by creating a family album or photo book. And this could be done digitally with Snap to Finish, or traditionally with pocket pages or traditional refill pages and albums. And that's the beauty of this, is that this program allows people to choose their way of making a photo album. The other real beauty of Year in a Snap is that this is really designed to reach new people. I think each of you on this call have wondered, how can I get new people to join me in creating photo albums? And this is specifically designed to attract people from all ages. You'll especially notice a bit of a millennial flair because we do want to attract the younger crowd. We've got a pretty good demographic with our older group, but we specifically want to get those new moms and the young people, specifically that millennial group, who really need to do something meaningful with their photos and want to do something meaningful with their photos. We've recently learned that the Target store now only markets to millennials. The rest of us just have to come along with the millennial marketing. So that is why you'll see such a heavy emphasis in Year in a Snap on millennials, because that's the wave of the future to market to that group. Okay, let's move on. So why offer these workshops? We've covered that. And I am not going to read, and I'm sure you're sighing with relief. I'm not going to read every word that we have in this PowerPoint, but we will have 3 documents posted for you. They will be in Team Fusion. They will be in teamfusiontraining.com. Stacy will house them in Longevity Memory Keepers files. We'll make them very accessible to you. So don't worry about taking screenshots as we're going along. You don't even have to take notes necessarily, because all of this will be provided for you in these documents that we will post this morning by noon Mountain Time. You'll have it. But so back to the screen, our mission is that we want to help everyone have a photo album. And we want to create a Year in a Snap photo album by providing a fun and easy project, as well as the time, support, and space to complete it. Okay, let's move on. Here's a biggie. Who can you invite? And if you are ready to take notes, this might be a time to just be thinking, who do you know that are overwhelmed with photos, who don't have a lot of time to invest in album making? People that you know that want accountability and need support, like those people who buy a gym membership so that they've got some accountability and support to work out. People who want a simple, fast, easy way to complete an album, and people who are not aware of how technology is affecting their photos. These are just a few categories that we've thought of to help you figure out who can you invite to your Year in a Snap. So that will be, this is part of a checklist that we'll give to you in those documents at the end. Okay, next. We're very proud of this invitation to share. It says with millennials that this is the invitation that we heard loud and clear from our beta group, that they want to use this for everyone. You don't have to use the word dear. You can say, hey, hello, whatever on-trend word you want to use to open up this message. But this is a fun way to invite people. It was written by our new member of our design team who is a millennial. Her name is Amy. She's 28, and she's done a fabulous job of helping us create some millennial-friendly content, both from invitations like this to videos, etc. You'll see a lot more of Amy. But here's this invitation, and again, we'll provide this for you this morning. So let's go on to the next slide. So in a summary, the monthly workshop, basically it boils down to each participant would be working on the same album project, a year in a snap, not somebody doing their travel album or their wedding album or a baby book. No, that's for other workshops. Year in a snap is about working on a year in a snap book. It could be any year, but we recommend 2016 and 2017 to keep it easy. Workshops will be 2 to 3 hours long, once a month. Some of you may want to have more than one Year in a Snap workshop. I know I plan to do more than one because I only want 6 people at a time at my workshop, and I have more than 6 people interested. I have about 18, and so I'm planning 3 workshops spread out over the month to capture those people. But you can do whatever you want. These are just guidelines. Longevity products will be suggested to preview each month. We have a full list that we've already created for you of these products. We've also, thanks to Suzanne, created a list of all their attributes so that you can share with your workshop attendees. This is why this hot chocolate is so good. This is why this detox tea is something you should all be drinking. You know, we've got all of that for you. But having the longevity products there is a really soft sell, a very gentle way to introduce people to the other many great products that we have here at Longevity. Plus, it will help your monthly sales because once people purchase their initial photo album products, we want to sell them other things, and these Longevity products will be the perfect item to sell them each month. Okay, next. The details of the album project, the album would be 20 of the best pictures from each month. So here again is one of the secrets of making this a success. Sometimes people have, 100 pictures from a month and they're overwhelmed by them, and we want to train them to just choose 20. We will even have an instructional video for you to give to them to help people choose their 20 best pictures. And that will be coming within this next week. We have our first video ready, and the next video will be ready very, very soon as well. But we want to help you help them choose 20 of the best pictures from each month, again, captured traditional, pocket, or digital. We will complete 2 months at each workshop. So once again, we're suggesting 2016 and the beginning of 2017, but all those instructions are written for you. All right, let's move on. We have designed a special Year in a Snap collection. This will work for people who create digital, traditional, or pocket, which is the cool thing about this collection. It's pocket size, so these border strips will slide right into a pocket page. Of course, on a traditional page, you can mount them wherever you want, however you want. They also have matching journaling cards, which you see on the right. If you look up at the right corner, you'll see a journaling card with photo corners. one side of all these journaling cards looks just like that. All 25, 50, we've got 50 of these journaling cards look like that particular look. Again, our millennial designer, Amy, really coached us that that is a look that's very, very popular right now. And so for people who want that very cohesive look, they can choose that journaling card over and over and over again. If people want a bigger variety, then they can use the journaling cards that you see pictured on that right screen, where you see the various soft colors. All of the journaling cards match the border strips, so you can, have them exactly coordinate. If you've got a wood border strip, you can have the wood journaling card. If you have a blue border strip, you can have the blue journaling card. It's very, very simple. These are also available in Snap to Finish. So Stacy has created an actual template called Snap to Finish. And you can have an option called Snap to Finish Complete. Snap to Finish Complete means that you've actually got pages already pre-designed with these border strips and journaling cards on the page. So all you have to do is drag and drop in your photos. You've already got this beautiful collection created in Snap to Finish. We also have Snap to Finish White and Snap to Finish Linen. And what those two options are is the background is either a white page or the background is our linen page. And then there's templates on the page where you just drag and drop your photos. With those two options, you can choose this Year in a Snap collection however you want. You can drag in your own border strip or your own journaling card as you wish, which compared to Year in a Snap Complete, that's already been done for you. So again, thank you to Stacy for doing that digitally, so it really takes so much of the work out of it for you and your potential customers who will have literally a no-brainer experience with Snap to Finish when all they have to do is choose whichever of those methods they want. So we're really pleased. This collection is available to purchase, and we encourage you to purchase this now in the paper format so that you can make your own pages and start using it yourself, because nothing is more powerful than your own experience when it comes to using a product. So we really suggest you getting your own samples of this and start making pages. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Here are some cute page layouts already created by Amy. We will be, once again, offering video of showing other page layout ideas using this collection. But on the top here, you can see a pocket page using the Year in a Snap, and you can see how those cute photo-cornered journaling cards, look how nice that looks, where they're matching on both sides. And then on the left-hand corner, you'll see the linen pages, which is the traditional collection, and on the right, the white pages. And again, Amy has helped us create looks. You'll notice the pictures are square in that right-hand version because people are used to the Instagram size, which is this perfect square. And so we have created that look, again, because that will be popular for many other people. Okay, let's move on. So here's just a few of the details. Again, these are all written for you, so I don't need to read these word for word, but basically at the first workshop in January, you will play an instructional video, actually more than one, and we're going to provide for you today. We're going to play one of the videos for you at the end so that you can be excited and see the quality of this video and how fun and appealing it is. It's really on trend. It's edgy. It's punchy. It's engaging. I think you'll really enjoy it. And like I said, we will provide you a second instructional video, and you'll see in the paperwork that we provide for you at the end that once you send out your invitation, when people respond to you affirmatively and say, yes, I want to come to your January workshop, then you can send them the links to these videos So for those people who aren't too overwhelmed with their Christmas and other holiday activities, they can start watching those videos and learn these tips and tricks before they get to your January workshop. But if they don't have time to watch them ahead of time, they will be played. You will play them at your January workshop. Now, they're each only 5 minutes long, so people don't have to go, oh, people don't like watching anything too long. 5 minutes, they cover a lot of detail. Amy has packed a lot of things in these 5-minute videos, so no worries, it won't take too much of your time, but it will give them tips on taking better pictures, how to find their photos, and you will play those in January, and then help people select their photos from January of 2016 and February of 2016, or we have another scenario where you can start looking for your pictures in January, what they've taken so far in January 2017. But again, all this is written for you. We don't have to go through all the details here. So let's move on to the next slide. This is another option. And again, at the February workshop, participants can work on January 2016 and January 2017. So right simultaneously, they can be caught up with two years at a time. They can literally work on them at the same time. Okay. And I'll say it once again, all this is in writing for you. So as I mentioned at the beginning, we have provided a lot of details on how to include longevity products. We've created a list of popular products that work well as samples in a workshop type setting. And we also have a little tip on wearing the Alicia jewelry. And we have a little script line that actually Annalise and Sean provided to us. They said this is what really works, is once you wear one of their pieces and somebody at your workshop says, wow, that is a really, really pretty necklace. And they said, oh no, this is what you say. Actually, this isn't a necklace. It's called VersaStyle because you can wear it 10 different ways. And I'll quickly show you some of those options. So Annalise and Sean have said that is the perfect line to say to people. And then we've included the link. If you're not familiar with the VersaStyle and the 10 different ways, you can just quickly watch that video of Annalise demonstrating those tips. So by the time you go into your January workshop and have your Me Alicia piece on, you'll be very familiar with how to demonstrate it yourself. Okay, our next slide. So this just gives you a sample. We've got every month already mapped out, but this shows you we've got all the details, the attributes, the calorie count for the hot chocolate, zinc lozenges, all the details that you need to know. Now, again, this is a guideline. If you want to go demonstrate other things or you want to mix up the order, you can do that. But we've tried to take all of that extra work away from you. We're trying to make this truly a workshop in a box where we've done all the thinking for you and you just follow the directions. But please know, you obviously can go do whatever you want. These are just ideas. Okay, next slide. We have learned some ideas for a display table. So we do encourage you to have this at each workshop, a trimmer, other pocket collections. We do have beautiful, beautiful here, our Memories for Life pocket collections besides a Year in a Snap. So it isn't breaking the rules if somebody is working on Christmas pictures, for example, and they say something like, wow, I wish I had something that was really Christmas iconic. And you can say, you know what, we do have that. And so you can always bring out our beautiful other collections. The reason we've really focused on a Year in a Snap is because when we're bringing in new people are usually easily overwhelmed. We are trying to keep them in a place where they feel that this is doable. And so if they reach that point where they feel like, oh my gosh, I have to be creative, I have to, have some high standard for my book that I don't think I can achieve on my own, that's when we lose people. So you will really need to use your grace and your expertise to know when it is appropriate to recommend other things or just to really keep it simple with a year and a snap, because you will lose people. I have learned that in 30 years very loud and clear. When people feel overwhelmed and that they're not as creative as the person sitting next to them, they won't come back. And that will defeat all of this work that you've done, that we've done. So we've got to be very, very careful to just make people feel like they're wonderful, they're creative, they can do this. What we've provided is enough. Again, and I do have to step on my soapbox here a little bit. I am not a creative person. I'm not. I'm a very organized person. I can get things done, but I'm not creative. And if I was sitting there, I could never compete with people who are doing many beautiful things on their page. So I'm a really good example of that. And there are lots of me's out there. And if you notice that you've got creative people, you might work with them separately, because you really don't want to alienate the whole group. It's so important to not make people feel like they are a loser because they're not creative. And that happens so easily. Truly it does. Okay, I'm off my soapbox on that topic. Okay, so here's again just a list, and we've provided this for you in your document, so I won't go through it all in detail. We can move on to the next slide. So, year in a snap, we will provide monthly tips to share at the workshop. So once again, it's super fun to be able to help people make this the most meaningful project for them. And one of the ways that that is done is by helping them tell their story. Journaling really is the best decoration. That's something we've said for years. If you want to be creative, okay, you're writing your story is the best creativity ever. And so every 4 times a year, we will provide you journaling tips. But every month, we will give you layout suggestions, a new video. We'll give you tips how to take better pictures. We will give you something fun for every month's workshop. And here, lastly, again, participants are instructed to find 16 to 20 pictures. We really are just saying 20 pictures. Let's drop the 16 and just tell people, bring 20 pictures for 1 month. And bring to the workshop enough pictures to complete 2 months of pages. So each month a person completes 8 pages, 4 double page spreads for a yearly total of 96 pages, 2 years of photos. Okay, you probably feel like I've said that enough times now. You've got it, you've got it. Okay, here comes some really super fun. A link will be included in the email invitation to potential participants of a brochure. They'll look at the brochure and then respond with the kit of their choice. You will pre-order the kit and have it ready for the first workshop. There will be a brochure for those who want to print the kit options to give to someone. And so we can now show you that brochure. Thanks to Stacy and her team, we have this lovely brochure. So we're going to first show it to you in the flip book form. So this is just too cool. So Stacy, go ahead and show. Here's the front of the Year in a Snap, and when you open it up, it gives you the details, everything you need to know. Option 1, yeah, there it's bigger. Slide to finish, it reviews the pocket page collection. Then it reviews stick to finish, our traditional options, and the cost of the collections, how you can get things at a better price by doing a social. Here's another option. We've got the cute layouts there. And then, of course, we show the computer because we show Digi to finish, which is, of course, using Snap to finish to make a digital book. And then on the next pages, we show your cover set color options. And then the next page shows the full layout of the Year in a Snap border strips and journaling cards so that they can get an idea of what that looks like. And then lastly, how to make it happen, where it encourages them to choose their album style, gather their photos, put the date on their calendar, and then to contact you. And you can see on the back, it shows where you can write your phone number and your email and personalize this for you. But this flip book, again, we will provide printable version of this as well as this is a link that people can just click on when you email them. They can go ahead and watch, just flip through that book. So woohoo, yay Stacy, it's so cute. Okay, let's move on. And of course that is all finished and ready for you to have in your own possession. Here again is another view of the brochure. You can see it a little bit bigger as it's laying out. And we really are excited to have this tool that is the companion to that opening invitation letter. We're also working on a fun bag. We didn't have an image yet to show to you, but it again is super on trend, using colors that are modern for today. The bag will have that really fun Year in a Snap logo, not with the hot green behind it, but just the Year in a Snap logo. It will have that on the bag. And this will be a separate purchase for people, but we're working on some great pricing for it. And like it says here, this will be used so that people can carry their supplies back and forth. And it really, this is designed so that people have very little work to do outside of the workshop. They do have to find their photos, but it's designed that the actual work in the album is done at the workshop. So they literally can keep their supplies in the bag until the next month's event. Okay, let's go on to the next slide. We will provide monthly specials, so as well as giving you tips, we will be giving you things that are on sale that you can feature that are great add-on products like personal trimmers. Some people who are doing this traditionally or pocket may need a trimmer. Same with the colored pen sets. The organized for folders are just examples. There will be a special in Snap to Finish for those who complete their book. There will be a discount offered to them at the end when they're ready to print. So we have not forgotten the digital people. Yep. Okay, next slide. So as I've explained, these will be stored on Facebook and Team Fusion or Memories for Life. They'll also be on the Longevity Memory Keeping Brands website, which isn't written here, but they will be there. Stacy will add them there. We really want them to be accessible to you. Next slide. Okay, what to do now? This checklist, we have, again, it's in the documents, but we'll just quickly review it now. Make a list of people who come to mind when you read the list below, which we've already reviewed. So let's go to the next slide. This is really key. You can be doing this today. You can also determine the dates for your workshops. Remember, you know, there's some other tips to here to remember, but really nail those workshop dates down right now. Purchase a Year in a Snap collection and the featured longevity products that you will show in January. That's really key as well. In December, you want to purchase, and we've given you that list in the documents, purchase the things that you want to show as samples right now in December. Okay, next slide. Watch the training on Snap to Finish. The training, Stacy, I don't know if you want to jump in and say anything about those trainings. We're waiting for the actual release of Snap to Finish, which will come in December. But there is a YouTube location, a playlist that Stacy has created where you can find all the training for Snap to Finish. And Stacy, if there's anything you want to say, jump in, but if not, we'll move on.
Yep, just that once we do launch Snap to Finish, there will be training videos that walk you through everything from logging in to setting up a book, adding your photos, organizing them. So we'll break it down into little pieces so they won't be humongous videos to watch either, so that you can just pull the little parts that you want to do and not have to watch like the entire book being created.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly. All right, thank you. All right, next slide. Other of our checklists, email the flipbook or print the brochure and the opening letter to your potential guests. So to have, you know, your January workshop ready to roll, we really encourage you to start inviting people now in December. I know it's the holiday time, but people really do start thinking of their New Year resolutions right now. Like, what do I want to do in January? What's going to be different? So this is the perfect time, actually, to send out an invitation to people. The key is just following up. whether you follow up with another email or even better yet, a text or a phone call to people that you are inviting. That's really strategic. I plan to literally walk my neighborhood with my printed versions of these things. So, but now's the time. You literally can start doing this today. Okay, and then once you receive the affirmative responses, send the second communication, which we've provided for you in your resources. Okay, next slide. We're in the home stretch now.
That was the last slide, actually.
Yeah, okay, great. All right. There's our beautiful logo, and now we have the super fun opportunity. Well, Stacy, are there any questions before we play the video that should be answered
I do have,
for everybody?
Yes, there is one. The questions come up, do you charge for people to come to your weekly gatherings? If so, what would you suggest? And the question came up because there is the cost for all the longevity products being sampled, and so what would you recommend for that?
Yep, that came up last month, and we have some people who said they're not going to charge and others who will, and I've heard both $5 per person and $10 per person. Those have been some of the guidelines that have been recommended. Yep. So we have everything from $0 to $5 to $10. Mm-hmm.
Hey, there's your answer. And then the other thing that came up is that we're doing this video on iPhone shooting tips, but these tips would apply to any camera phone, not just an iPhone, correct?
Yes, and Amy does have on our video list, she will be doing a video specifically for Androids. So these first ones really do apply to the iPhones, but a lot of the tips are for, like to your point, aren't exclusive to a certain phone, but the tips that are exclusive to a certain phone will be redone in an Android video. Yeah.
Okay.
So we will have that.
Wonderful. I'm answering one last question, and then we'll show the video.
Okay.
Okay, here's the video.
Okay, so we're done with questions?
Yes, that was pretty much all the questions. I will come back to any more that come up after watch the video.
Okay.
We are coming to you from Our Memories for Life with our new video series, 5-Minute Tips and Tricks, to equip you with all of the tools you need to make your Year in a Snap project as easy and fun as possible. This first video will focus on how to get the most out of those photos taken with your iPhone camera. The best part about the iPhone camera is you most likely will always have it with you, and you have an unlimited source of film. So learning how to use these tools to their full potential is vital to your photo taking experience. All right, let's get started. I'm going to set our timer for 5 minutes. All right, our next step is to turn your grid on. This is a little tool that not everybody knows about. So go back to your home screen, turn on your settings. You're going to go and look for your photos in camera, and then scroll down to the camera section and click on grid. All right, this is to help you with the fundamental piece of any photo, which is the composition. So let's go to our camera so I can show you what I mean. So do you see those lines on my screen? This grid gives you an easy way to create more interesting photos by using that rule of thirds. So basically, instead of putting your subject in the middle of the screen, which in this case we'll use the clock, so instead of putting it right there in the middle of that center square, I'm going to position it either on that left line of the center square, the right line, or put one of the corners of that center square into the center of the subject. So either that top right corner, bottom right, bottom left, or top left. So this basically is to impact the aesthetics of what you're taking a photo of, and that grid really helps you figure out where you want those items to go. This isn't a hard and fast rule, but it will help you create more captivating images, which equals more beautiful albums to look at. All right, one more photography tip before we get into the features on your camera app. Let's talk about zooming. I'm going to go to my camera. We have our same little setup here. All right, when items are further away, it's very tempting to just zoom up into them. But do you see how they've lost their focus? They're a little bit more pixelated and distorted. So my number one tip with zooming is don't do it. If you can walk up closer to your items or your subjects, that is your best bet, because you can edit the zooming when we get to our editing phase, but you need a good photo to work with in order to do that. So if you come in to edit and your image is all blurry like that, the photo's already distorted, so it makes it harder to edit. Okay, moving on. Let's look at HDR. Do you see the little HDR second from the bottom on the left side in the black along with all those little tools? You want to click on that. So here is a photo without HDR. HDR stands for High Dynamic Range. And ideally, you would have this on your phone on auto at all times. This feature is awesome. It allows all the super light spots and all the super dark shadows in your photo to have more detail. So looking at this one without HDR, the sky is pretty washed out, and the stairs are a little bit overexposed. Now let's look at our version with HDR. Do you see how the colors are a little bit more even? The exposure is more balanced. You have a little bit more of a blue sky. That's because a normal photo will average everything in the shot into one brightness, but HDR combines multiple exposures, usually about 3, into one image. So you will always have both photos when your HDR is on, so you can choose between the two, but this is one of your best tools to use. Okay, our next iPhone feature is one that you're probably familiar with. So I'm going to get into my camera. Okay, this is the tap to focus. So I just tapped my thumb on that clock to bring it into focus. Tap now on the candle. This is a game changer. You definitely want to do this on people's faces when you're taking a photo of them. That little yellow box will set your subject in focus and also make sure that it's properly exposed. Sometimes you may need to tap around your subject to bring the lighting to a different spot, but that tool is super important. Now, sometimes the image may still look too dark. I'm purposely in kind of a dimmer room to show you that I can tap on that subject and then see that little sunshine to the right of the box. I can slide my finger up to get more light in or down to get less light in. So a lot of people thought that they could only adjust their lighting in editing. Not so. You can do it here, which is really, really cool. This is a really great tool, especially if you're taking a photo of someone in front of a window and they're completely blacked out into a silhouette. You can tap on their face and lift up that lighting. Okay, one more cool thing with the beautiful yellow box. So let's say I really like the lighting right here, and I've adjusted it. I can hold down my thumb on that box until it blinks at me and it's locked. So I have lost the focus and the exposure. That means I can go from another angle now, and that's not going to change. So that's another really cool tool that you can use when you're trying to take multiple shots of someone or something. Last but not least, my final tip is to use all of the tools mentioned in this video to help eliminate your need for a flash. Once you know how to adjust your lighting with our exposure and focus tricks, you will get brighter, more beautiful photos than you would by using a flash. So here is an example of my little assistant Toby with a flash. It makes his eyes look funny. He's just, too exposed. So here is the same spot, same lighting and everything without a flash, and I used my focusing, tap to focus, and also adjusted the light. So every so often you have no other choice, but we really want to avoid washed out images that a flash can create and have more beautiful images to work with when we edit. And that's time. Thank you for joining me for our first 5-minute tips and tricks video. I'll see you next time when we tackle iPhone editing.
Okay, Rhonda, it's back to you.
Yeah, thank you. So that gives you a little sample of what Amy's videos will look like. She is going to do iPhone editing, but one of the top priorities is also how to select your photos, because that's going to be key for people at your workshop, is how to choose photos. And that will apply to everybody with whatever camera they are using, or if they've got them stored on Facebook, or if they're just locked up in, wherever they've got them. So we will help you with that. We will, and I just want to clarify, we will have an Android version as well. There is not a way that we can do tips and tricks with regular cameras because everybody's got a bunch of different cameras. But what we have learned is that the majority of people are now taking their pictures with either their iPhone or their Android phone. So these tips and tricks will be focused on those two phone styles. But like I said, the how to find your photos will apply to every type of photo wherever you've taken it, and then the layout tricks and all that won't be specific to any phones or anything like that. So nobody has to feel left out. So there is a question I see here too, will the flip books be printed out so we can purchase them? No, we're not planning to print those. We are just providing them in a format so that you can print them yourself to hand them out. And if any, we can provide some tips on where to do that more cost effectively. I can work on that. There's also a question about, will $5 to $10 fully cover all of the samples that you use? It really depends upon how many people you have, of course. And the samples that we are suggesting you give out are just small amounts of, we're suggesting Dixie cups. So people will get a very, very small amount. So for example, if you're sharing detox tea, probably one bag of tea will be enough for your whole entire group. So your cost is one bag of tea. So usually the sample cost is under $5. That will cover everybody at the workshop. But again, if you've got 25 people there, you might need more, but then you've charged for all of those people too. So there really isn't a problem. If you're in that $5 to $10 range of charging people, you're going to have more than enough money to cover your samples. You will actually make money at that price. Okay, I think that's it for the questions. Stacy, do you see anything else?
No, we'll just remind everyone that the materials will be available today in the Team Fusion group on the Team Fusion website and in the Longevity Memory Keeping group as well. So those will all be posted as well as the recording of today.
Yep, exactly. Yep, and then we will continue working. We've got 8 videos that we are working on, and we will have the majority of those videos done here in the month of December, if not all of them. So before your actual first workshop, they will all be completed. And then we'll continue to do new ones as we go along, and we'd love to hear from you. What will make this better? So send me an email, randerson@longevity.com, post on our Memories for Life or Team Fusion, and let us know your questions. Or once you've read through everything, what have we missed? What can we do to make this work even better for you? So really appreciate you joining us. And again, thanks to everyone who's had a part in making this a great program for 2017. And you guys have a wonderful day. And for those of you who are interested in updates on our Memories for Life, we will have our regular Tuesday training next week on the 13th. So hope you can join us then too. All righty. Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Stacy and Suzanne. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.